so I'm doing this by Zoom. In answer to Adam's question, I think the Ukraine war, as it goes on, will come to be seen as another seismic shift, because the repercussions of the war are by no means confined to Ukraine. And the longer this goes on, the longer that globalization of outcomes relating to it will continue. And what's more, many of those trends will become more consolidated. To give you one, the Russo-Chinese alliance, I happen to be one that believes it's an alliance, is stronger, particularly in the military sphere, than it ever has been. And Russia is much more dependent on China than it ever has been. And that's a fundamental shift in global and especially Asian politics. And that could lead me to answer the second question. If China decided to invade Taiwan sometime in the near or even immediate future, that would have an equally consequential impact on international relations, because of the fact that we live in a globalized economy, and that's not going to go away despite what many call a retreat from globalization. Major wars are bound to have ramifications that go far beyond their borders, whether it would be, let's say, Israel-Iran, hypothetically, or China-Taiwan, and in the Ukrainian case. Those would have major impacts on international relations, not just on the regions in which those wars would occur. So, Adam, I hope that answers your question, and I appreciate your asking me to contribute to that, because as you and some of the other people there know, I was a professor for many years at the Army and Air War colleges here in the United States. So I try to combine the political and military levels of analysis together.
Thank you so much, Stephen. And since we did not have you at the very beginning, can you take a brief moment and introduce yourself as well? I know you just gave us a quick preview of your history and your career, but if you want to add a few more comments to that.
Okay, well, I am now a senior fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute, which is based in Philadelphia. I'm based in the Washington, D.C. area, and as I said, temporarily somewhat limited in my mobility, but I've been a watcher of Soviet Union and now Russia for about 45 years. So I have a lot of experience teaching Russia's impact on international relations and issues relating to Russian military and contemporary warfare. I taught at the Air War College, the Army War College, University of California, Riverside, University of Texas, San Antonio, and now I'm an independent consultant and connected to FPRI.
Thank you so much, Stephen. We appreciate it. I want to turn to one other question, and then we'll take questions from the audience. Natalia, in some of the comments that you made, we're looking now at the war entering a new stage, right? The heavily discussed spring offensive seems to is beginning in its commencement. We've seen so much take place throughout the European continent over the last year and a half. Are the Balkan states looking at NATO, even after now its recent expansion and pending